You think staying constantly busy means your life is under perfect control. But psychology calls this emotional anesthesia, using productivity to outrun hidden sadness. You answer work emails at dinner, clean a spotless kitchen, and the second the room gets quiet, your chest tightens with sudden heaviness. Mistaking this escape for ambition will eventually force your nervous system to collapse. Today we decode these 6 silent signs of depression. Before we start, what state or city in the US are you in? Because I want to send a warm hug to wherever you are hustling today. You can be depressed and still look incredibly capable. You can answer every email, meet every deadline, keep your kitchen spotless, and smile when someone tells you how strong you are. From the outside, your life may appear organized, productive, even admirable. But inside, you may feel as though you are running from something you cannot name. Depression does not always arrive as obvious sadness. Sometimes it disguises itself as discipline. Sometimes it wears clean clothes, speaks politely, and gets praised at work. Sometimes it hides inside the habits other people celebrate. These 6 signs do not automatically mean that you have depression. Only a qualified mental health professional can make that determination. But they may be invitations to stop, look inward, and ask whether the life you are managing so well is quietly exhausting the person living it. The first sign is that you drown yourself in constant busyness. Your calendar is full before the week begins. You volunteer for another assignment even though you are already tired. You clean when there is nothing left to clean. You answer work messages during dinner, take on other people's problems, and tell yourself that you simply function better when you have something to do. People may admire your energy. Your boss may call you dependable. Your family may wonder how you manage everything. But the truth appears when everything becomes quiet. The television turns off. The dishes are done. Nobody needs you. There is no urgent task left. And instead of feeling peaceful, you feel restless. Your chest tightens. A heaviness you have been outrunning suddenly catches up with you. So you find something else to do. This can be a form of psychological compensation. Busyness gives you structure, control, and temporary relief from feelings that seem too painful or confusing to face. Productivity becomes emotional anesthesia. As long as you are moving, you do not have to listen to the sadness, emptiness, resentment, fear, or loneliness underneath. The danger is that the world rewards this kind of escape. People congratulate you for overworking. They call your exhaustion ambition. They praise the very behavior that may be preventing you from noticing how much you are hurting. Eventually, your body may resist. You wake up tired even after sleeping. Weekends do not restore you. Vacations make you anxious because there is too much unstructured time. You are not merely tired from working hard. You feel tired of carrying yourself. That difference matters. Ordinary fatigue often improves with rest. Depression-related exhaustion can follow you into bed, into the weekend, and into moments that are supposed to feel enjoyable. It is not laziness. It may be your nervous system asking for something deeper than sleep. Try allowing yourself a few minutes of silence without immediately filling it. Not to force an answer, not to solve your entire life, simply to notice what rises. Ask yourself gently, what am I afraid I will feel if I stop? You may not know at first. That is okay. The goal is not to interrogate yourself. The goal is to begin hearing the part of you that has been buried beneath achievement. The second sign is that your body hurts, but no clear physical cause has been found. Maybe your lower back aches every morning. Maybe headaches appear so often that you have learned to work through them. Your shoulders stay tense, your stomach feels unsettled, your muscles hurt even when you have not exercised. You visit doctors, complete tests, and search for explanations, yet nothing fully accounts for what you feel. The pain is real. That needs to be said clearly, because people with unexplained physical symptoms are often made to feel as though they are imagining them. But emotional suffering can produce genuine physical distress. The mind and body communicate constantly through the brain, nervous system, hormones, sleep, muscle tension, and pain pathways. When emotions remain unprocessed for too long, the body may begin expressing what words have not been allowed to say. This is sometimes described as somatization. It does not mean the pain is fake. It means psychological strain may be translated into physical symptoms. Sadness can become heaviness. Anxiety can become tightness. Constant vigilance can become headaches, jaw pain, stomach problems, and aching muscles. Then another painful cycle begins. You worry that something is physically wrong. The worry disrupts your sleep. Poor sleep increases your sensitivity to pain. The pain makes you more anxious, and the anxiety makes the pain feel even louder. it is still important to seek medical care for persistent or unusual pain. Emotional explanations should never dismiss symptoms that need physical evaluation. But when examinations do not reveal a clear cause, it may be worth asking another compassionate question. What has my body been carrying that my mind has been trying not to feel? Sometimes healing begins when you stop treating the body as an enemy and start listening to it as a messenger. A headache may be asking for rest. A clenched jaw may be holding words you never felt safe enough to speak. An aching back may reflect years of carrying responsibilities that were never meant to belong to you alone. Your body is not betraying you. It may be trying to bring you home to yourself. The third sign is that your weight changes dramatically, even though you never consciously decided to change the way you eat. Perhaps food suddenly feels pointless. You know your body needs nourishment, but the thought of preparing a meal feels like another impossible responsibility. Hours pass before you realize you have eaten nothing. When someone asks whether you are hungry, you shrug because hunger has become distant, almost irrelevant. Or perhaps the opposite is happening. You find yourself reaching for food long after your body is full. You eat late at night, standing in the kitchen or staring at a screen, barely tasting what is in front of you. You crave sugar, salt, fast food, or anything that offers immediate comfort. For a few minutes, eating gives you something to feel. Then the relief disappears, and shame takes its place. You tell yourself that you need more discipline. You criticize your body. You promise to start over tomorrow. But the issue may not be discipline at all. Depression can disturb appetite in both directions. For some people, sadness suppresses hunger. For others, food becomes one of the few remaining sources of pleasure, stimulation, or emotional relief. When your inner world feels empty, eating can become an attempt to fill something that food was never designed to reach. This does not make you weak. Emotional eating is often a coping response. Your brain is searching for a brief sense of comfort, reward, or safety. Highly processed foods can provide a rapid but temporary lift, especially when your emotional energy is low. For a moment, the loneliness softens. The numbness breaks. The day feels slightly more tolerable. But because that relief is temporary, you may need to repeat the behavior again and again. At the other extreme, not eating can also become emotionally meaningful. You may feel unworthy of care. You may stop noticing your body's needs because you have become disconnected from yourself. Sometimes restricting food creates a small sense of control when everything else feels unstable. Sometimes it is an unconscious form of punishment directed at a person who already believes they are not good enough. That person is you, and you do not deserve punishment. You deserve care, especially when caring for yourself feels difficult. Try not to begin with judgment. Shame rarely creates lasting healing. Instead, begin with one gentle act of nourishment. A warm bowl of soup, a piece of fruit, eggs and toast. Something simple enough that it does not require motivation you do not currently have. Healthy comfort is still comfort. You do not need to transform your diet overnight. You are not trying to become perfect. You are reminding your nervous system that your body is worth feeding, even on the days when your mind tells you that nothing matters. Pay attention to major or persistent weight changes, especially when they happen alongside low mood, sleep disruption, loss of interest, or hopelessness. Speak with a healthcare professional who can consider both physical and psychological causes. Your appetite is not a moral report card. It is information. The fourth sign is that even the smallest decisions begin to feel overwhelming. You stand in the kitchen trying to decide between coffee and tea. It should take seconds, but your mind freezes. You open a restaurant menu and read the same choices repeatedly without absorbing them. You walk into a grocery store for 3 items and feel defeated by the number of brands, sizes, and possibilities. You may even avoid replying to a simple message because you cannot decide what words to use. From the outside, these situations appear minor. That is what makes them so painful. You remember when you could make decisions without thinking about them. Now every choice seems to carry invisible weight. What if I choose incorrectly? What if I regret it? What if this small mistake proves that I cannot handle my life? Eventually, you become angry with yourself. You call yourself useless, lazy, slow, or incapable. Other people may tell you to stop overthinking, which only makes you feel more ashamed because you would stop if you knew how. But difficulty making decisions can be connected to executive dysfunction. Depression does not affect only emotions. It can interfere with concentration, working memory, motivation, planning, and the mental flexibility required to compare choices and take action. Your brain may be trying to make decisions while operating with severely reduced energy. Imagine a phone with too many applications running in the background. The screen may still light up. The phone may still function, But every command takes longer because most of its power is being consumed by processes you cannot see. Depression can feel like that. A large part of your mental energy may already be occupied by negative thoughts, emotional suppression, poor sleep, anxiety, or the constant effort required to appear normal. By the time you need to choose dinner, there may be very little cognitive energy left. This is not evidence that you are unintelligent. It is not proof that you have become incapable. It may be a sign that your mind is overloaded and needs support. Reduce unnecessary choices whenever possible. Create simple defaults. Eat the familiar meal. Wear the comfortable outfit. Choose the first reasonable option rather than searching for the perfect one. Give yourself permission to make decisions that are good enough. When the consequences are small, trust your first instinct. And when you choose something you later dislike, practice saying, "I made the best decision I could with the energy I had." You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to choose imperfectly. You are allowed to simplify your life while your brain recovers. Please remember that your current difficulty is not your permanent identity. A struggling brain is still a worthy brain. A slower mind is not a lesser mind. You do not need to insult yourself into functioning again. You need patience, structure, rest, and perhaps professional care. The voice calling you useless is not telling the truth. It is speaking from exhaustion, and exhaustion needs compassion, not punishment. The fifth sign is that you feel almost physically attached to your phone, yet nothing you see on it truly satisfies you. You pick it up without making a conscious decision. You open one app, close it, and immediately open another. You scroll through photographs of people you barely know, watch short videos you will not remember, check the same notifications, or place things in an online shopping cart that you never intended to buy. Minutes disappear, sometimes hours. You may tell yourself that you are simply relaxing, but when you finally put the phone down, you do not feel rested. You feel more empty than before. The room becomes too quiet again. The loneliness returns. Your own thoughts begin speaking, so your hand reaches for the screen one more time. This may be more than an ordinary habit. It can become a coping mechanism, a way of searching for small, immediate bursts of pleasure when your real life has stopped feeling rewarding. Depression can reduce your ability to experience interest, motivation, and enjoyment. Activities that once made you feel alive may now seem distant. Conversations feel exhausting. Hobbies require too much effort. Even leaving the house can feel like a major task. Your brain still wants relief, so it searches for the fastest available reward. One more notification, one more video, one more purchase, one more moment in which you do not have to be alone with yourself. The problem is not that technology is evil. The problem is that a short burst of stimulation cannot meet a deeper emotional need. It may distract you from loneliness, but it cannot create intimacy. It may interrupt sadness, but it cannot process grief. It may give you the illusion of connection while leaving your real need to be understood untouched. This is why excessive scrolling can become such a painful cycle. The more disconnected you feel, the more you retreat into the screen. The more you retreat into the screen, the less energy you have for the relationships and experiences that might create genuine connection. Then you look at other people's carefully edited lives and wonder why everyone seems happier than you. You compare your private pain with their public presentation. You see vacations, engagements, new homes, promotions, smiling families, and transformed bodies. You do not see their arguments, debts, panic attacks, loneliness, or the nights when they also stare at a screen because they do not know what else to do. Before you open another app or press the button to buy something, pause for a few seconds. Ask yourself, what am I actually looking for right now? Am I bored, lonely, anxious, overwhelmed, or trying not to feel something? You do not have to throw your phone away. You only need to create a small space between the feeling and the automatic reaction. In that space, you may discover that what you need is not more content. You may need water, sunlight, sleep, movement, a real conversation, or permission to cry. The sixth sign is that you are ready to explode over something small. A red light lasts too long, and rage moves through your entire body. Someone walks slowly in front of you, and you feel an almost unbearable irritation. A cashier makes a simple mistake, and your voice becomes sharper than you intended. A family member asks an ordinary question, and suddenly you are fighting back tears. Later, you feel ashamed. You tell yourself that you are becoming difficult, impatient, or cruel. Other people may call you dramatic or bad-tempered. They see the reaction, but they do not see the emotional weight that was already there before the final moment. Irritability can be one of the most overlooked expressions of depression. Not everyone who is depressed appears quiet or visibly sad. Some people become angry, Some become defensive. Some lose patience with everyone around them because their emotional capacity has already been stretched beyond its limit. Imagine carrying a glass filled completely to the edge. The smallest movement causes it to spill. The final drop is not the real reason it overflows. It is only the last thing added to something that was already full. The traffic light is not the real problem. The misplaced keys are not the real problem. The person chewing loudly is not the real problem. The problem may be months or years of suppressed disappointment, exhaustion, grief, fear, and loneliness. You may have spent so long trying to stay composed that your nervous system no longer has room for one more demand. Depression can also magnify ordinary frustrations. When your brain is exhausted, small obstacles feel enormous. A minor inconvenience can feel like proof that the entire world is against you. A harmless comment can sound like rejection. A simple request can feel like another impossible burden. This does not excuse hurting other people, but understanding the source of your irritability can help you respond with responsibility instead of self-hatred. When you feel yourself rising toward an explosion, try to name what is happening. Say quietly, "I am overwhelmed. I am hurt. I am running out of emotional space." Naming the deeper feeling can reduce its power. Anger is often easier to access than sadness, because anger creates energy, while sadness makes us feel vulnerable. But beneath the anger, there may be a part of you that is frightened, exhausted, or desperate to be cared for. Let that part speak. Cry if you need to cry. Admit that you are not okay. Tell someone you trust that you have been struggling. Consider speaking with a therapist, counselor, or doctor. Asking for help does not mean you have failed to handle life. It means you have recognized that human beings were never meant to carry every burden alone. Perhaps you recognized yourself in one sign. Perhaps you recognized yourself in all six. Again, these behaviors do not automatically prove that you have depression, but they may be signals that something inside you needs attention. You do not have to wait until you completely fall apart before your pain becomes valid. You do not have to become unable to work, smile, or care for others before you deserve care yourself. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is stop performing strength. Your busyness, pain, changing appetite, indecision, endless scrolling, and irritability may not be character flaws. They may be the language of a mind that has been asking for help in every way it knows how. Please listen before that voice has to become louder. And if this message helped you feel seen, share your experience in the comments. You may discover that someone else has been silently living through the same thing. Subscribe if you want more conversations that make room for the feelings people are often afraid to name. You are not broken. You are not weak. You may simply be carrying more pain than anyone can see. And with the right support, patience, and compassion, you do not have to carry it forever.